Dozens of asylum seekers have been released from detention in Brisbane today, and more are expected to be released in Sydney and in Darwin this week. Reporter Suwaiba Hanafi joins us now from Darwin. Hi Suwaiba, so why are these detainees being released?
Good morning, Ross. So basically 25 asylum seekers and refugees have been released from Kangaroo Point Central Hotel and Apartments and Brisbane's Immigration Transit Accommodation. Now, these asylum seekers and refugees were brought to Australia for medical treatment. Some of them have had that medical treatment ongoing for things like mental health issues. Others have still been awaiting medical treatment for things like surgery. Prior to arriving in Australia, they were spent up to 7 years in places like Nauru and PNG. And what's really brought about this situation is some of these asylum seekers and refugees had court cases pending and their matters were referred to the minister. Their lawyers have been arguing that their detainment in Australia is illegal because they've asked to go back to their processing countries of PNG and Nauru, and so far Home Affairs hasn't been able to meet that request, and so the lawyers have asked that they be given a bridging visa so they can be released from detention and go into community, or what's known as community detention. So that's what we've seen here today with 25 asylum seekers and refugees being released in Brisbane. From what we understand, the lawyers of the group have been told that there are other refugees and asylum seekers who will be released from Darwin and also Sydney sometime this week.
And how are the detainees themselves then, Suwaiba, how are they feeling?
Yeah, well, as you can imagine, after spending for some of them around 12 months in hotel detention, they're really eager to have a taste of freedom. From speaking to some of the detainees, we know that they were getting quite frustrated and sick of having security and surveillance on them all day. Some of them feel like they have no control of how their days pan out. For example, they're not given control of where they sleep or what time they eat, and they just want to have that sense of, I guess, being able to make their own decisions. For other refugees who have been told there could be more being released, for example in Darwin, they're just eagerly waiting, patiently waiting to see if their name could be called out or if they will be advised that they will be getting a visa. From speaking to some of the refugee advocates who have been involved in their cases, they've said that sometimes it could be the case where refugees are told they'll be released and then that decision is then later changed. And so a lot of these people are very nervous to see how things will go. Ross.
Suwaiba, thank you.